Hi all, my name is Sandeep and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll talk about the creation of machine learning API and also testing the same in manual and also in the automated way. So for this demo, I'll be solving one famous machine learning regression problem called the wine problem, where you are predicting the quality of some wine based on some features or input parameters. So we'll be building the model, regression model, and also then testing the model, evaluating it, testing it, and also later we'll be automating the machine learning pipeline, then creating REST API in Flask in Python, and also locally we'll be running that API on my machine, and we'll be testing that service, API service, in the manual way using Postman. In Postman, like you can test any web API or any machine learning API, just specifying your inputs. You can test the API and then check the response or output, whether it is giving the desired response or results that you can test. So you can create various tests in Postman manually, and also save all of the test as a Postman collections, and later you can share it with anyone, or later you can load it in the Postman yourself in case if you lose the test sometime later. So we'll be also testing the API in the automated way. For that, we'll be writing a script in Python, and that will capture like any failures or errors in case if it comes across, and also in case suppose if you make changes to the model or the training data and you retrain the model, if something goes wrong or something, you make some changes to the parameters, and retrain the model. In that case also, it will capture the difference in results when it will compare with the baseline results. So that is all the differential testing will be also doing that. And later, after writing that testing script, we'll be using some job scheduler or CI/CD tool like Jenkins, and also schedule that testing script so that it will be running periodically at some interval, and you can track the testing results. So that it will come very handy for your API testing. So though we'll be testing everything locally on the local systems, but in the reality, in the actual practical situations, when your API or the machine learning service will be running on some cloud platform or some server as a containerized applications, that time also you can like test the API in the similar manner, manually as well as automatically. So let's get started. Okay. So I am in my project folder. So as you can see, this folder, ML API test, it's my project directory, and here all the files are there. So I'll first show you the data. That is a CSV file for this wine quality data, and it basically looks like this. So as you can see here, we have many features or input parameters such as fixed acidity, volatile acidity, citric acid, residual sugar, chlorides, free sulfur dioxide, total sulfur dioxide, density, pH, sulfates, alcohol, etc. So we have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 features or input parameters or predictors are there, and our goal is to predict the quality of the wine based on these input parameters or features. So here quality is just a numeric value, and more the value is, better the quality of the wine is. And here we have wine data for around 1600 observations. Basically we have 1600 wine data there for this particular machine learning problem, which is a regression problem. So I will just briefly go through the code quickly. So this is our 10 test script, red wine quality 10 test script. First we are importing all the necessary libraries here, as you can see, and then after that we are reading this CSV file, wine quality red.csv, and then we're converting it to a data frame, and then basically we're separating the features and also the target. Here target is the quality, wine quality is the target, and rest of them are features or predictors. So and then after that we are splitting the splitting the data into 10 train and test. So 20% of the data going to the test set, and remaining 80% will be in the training data set. And then after that we need to do some basic data pre-processing steps like feature scaling, and so for that we are writing a pipeline here, pipeline script, and so here we have two pipelines for data pre-processing steps, such as feature scaling. Here one is for the scaling the feature data, the input parameters of features, scaling that, and another one, this one, wine quality pipe 2, is for basically scaling the target or the output, that is the quality. This one, since it's a regression problem, our output is a continuous values, so that is why you need to scale that one as well for the training. And then this one, wine quality pipe 3, basically this is a pipeline for the saving the machine learning model. Here it's a random forest model, and then here as you can see, we are saving the data pre-processing pipelines, pipeline 1, pipeline 2, and also the we are saving the model, the machine learning model here is a joblib.dump here after basically so this is for the data pre-processing steps, where we are doing only the feature scaling, or scaling the input or the features data, and also the output or the prediction. There's the wine quality for the training and testing. And here we are basically training the model, machine learning model, and also the saving the model here using joblib.dump, this one, and that it will be saved in this name, random forest regressions. And then we are doing the evaluation of the model using the testing data set, test data or testing data set. So for since this is a regression problem, this means square error, mean absolute error, and RMSE, that is root mean square error, all these quantities are important. And so if we run this script, then you can see it does the evaluation of the model, and you see all these values: MSE, mean square error, mean absolute error, root mean square error. All these values are quite good, so it's a good model. And now next thing is to create the API for this machine learning model. And so here, after importing all the necessary libraries, we are writing a function here where we are using joblib.load. We are loading all these saved data pipeline as well as machine learning pipelines, and then based on the input data, we are transforming the input data, and then we are making the predictions. And then here this is our API endpoints /predict, and it's a post method, as you can see. And then here after getting this input JSON data, it is converting it to a pandas data frame, and then it is calling that function make prediction, and then making the predictions, and then later it is returning it as a response. So, and as you can see, basically we are using this 5000 port for running this API. And here I would like to mention that this logging is very important. So we are recording everything in the logs, whatever is happening after running the API, or whatever it is doing with the API inputs. If something goes wrong, so everything will be recorded in the server logs. It is very important from the development perspective. So this logger.info, logger.error, all this will record what is happening in the log file that I will show you. And so when we run the API, you have to run this script api.py, and when you run it, so it will look like this on the command prompt. So I'll just kill it and show you. In the, if you open the log file, so it will show you the API URL. Yeah, here as you can see that it is showing the API URL. It is running on this URL. Actually port is 5000. And then for testing the API, there is one tool called Postman which you can install, and when you launch it, it will look like this. So using Postman, you can manually test your APIs, machine learning APIs, or any web API. So here, so I have already basically created two tests here: wine quality, for predicting wine quality with two different input values. So this is the first one. Here in the JSON format, you have to specify the input. So either go to body and then raw data. So you have to provide this raw data as JSON input, and as you can see, the fixed acidity, volatile acidity, and all other input parameters we are specifying. And then when you click on send, okay, it is showing some errors. Okay, because we are not running the API. Let me run the API. Now it is running, as you can see. The Flask API is running, and if I click on the send, something is going wrong here. Oh, I'm sorry, actually the port is wrong. So 5000, port is 5000. Yeah, let me save it. And yeah, so as you can see that it has predicted the wine quality is 5.1 based on all these input parameters, and our expected value is also around 5 actual value, so it is close to that. Then we have another test here also. 5000 port number we have to change here. It's running on 5000. So here also it is predicting the wine quality is 6.64, and actual value is around 7, so it is close to that. So these results are accepted. These two results are pretty good, and they are acceptable for these two tests. So I will just show you, you can basically save this two test API test. It's a collection, actually API Postman collections. So you have to export that. So you go to your wine quality here and then export it, and then specify some name. and it has been saved, as you can see. Now you can also import the collections. You can import the collection also, same collection you can import, and then suppose in case if you delete the all this postman paste, then you can import it and they will appear. So as you can see, just it didn't work right, so we have imported as a copy, wine quality copy, and the same thing you have. So after importing, just click on this and then click on body. Then it will appear here, input values, and then you just click on send. Yeah, so you will get the results or predictions here. This is the API response. Similarly for the second thing also, click on body and then click on send. So it has predicted. So this is the predicted wine quality for the second test. So this is about a manual testing this Flask API manually using Postman. Now I am going to show you how you can automate this testing, automate the process, because manually testing machine learning APIs repeatedly, days after days, it's quite cumbersome and time consuming, pretty time consuming, because there may be changes in the training data, there may be there may be retraining of the model, or you may change some parameters, you may make some changes to hyperparameters, or anything can happen, and so every time you need to update the model, and then so you have to ensure that results are not getting worse from time to time. So there may be some changes in the result. It's very important to track the results with time, how the results are changing. It's very important to track. You have to ensure the quality of the predictions. So for that we have to automate the process, and so for automating the process, it's first important to create a baseline results first. Suppose today we have created two tests and manually we have tested them using Postman, and we are satisfied with the predictions or results. So it's very important to record the results as a baseline results. So here, as you can see, so our API is running on this, and basically, and we have created two tests, and for that we are passing the input, we are running the API, or API is already running, we are passing these input parameters to that API and getting the response, and we are storing that response in test1 underscore wine underscore quality underscore predicted, and then we are just extracting the exactly we need the predicted wine quality. So this will be some dictionary, sort of Python dictionary, so we are using that particular key, we are just extracting that particular value we need that predicted wine quality only. So this is for the test 1 and this is for the test 2, same thing one. For the test 2 we are passing a different set of parameter values, and then we are getting the response from this API after passing these parameters, the JSON parameters in JSON, actually JSON format. So we are passing the parameters, getting the response, and then storing these results. So they are baseline results, and then for baseline we are basically storing the results in this file baseline predictions.txt. We are writing all the baseline results for all these tests in this file. So later we can use that baseline results for the comparison. Now here I have written another script, test_script.py. So here we are running the same two tests, and we are getting the new results, and we are comparing the new results with the baseline results. So we are just loading the baseline results and comparing these new results, new prediction of these two tests with the baseline predictions results. For that we are using this module called PyTest, which is very handy, and we are passing some value of tolerance to both of the tests using the pytest.fixture, as you can see, and then these two tests we are testing this the wine quality values. We're just so it will, using assert, it will
check if the absolute difference of this baseline value and also the new value of the predictions, wine quality prediction, if it is less than, the difference is, absolute difference is less than some tolerance value for both of the test. So it will ensure that. And if it finds that it is more than the tolerance value, the differences, then the test will fail, and you can see the failures. So you can run this particular script, test script.py, using PyTest, and test script.py on the console you can run. Yeah. So as you can see, it is giving some, throwing some difference in results, and tests are failing, because the reason is that I earlier created the baseline. Okay, I trained the model, and with this n estimator equal to 100 for this random forest. Okay, this and then later I changed the hyperparameter to 200. So initially I trained with the n estimator equal to 100, and later I changed it to 200. But the baseline I created using this value n estimator equal to 100, and saved the model, and then created the baseline results of the API using that model, particular model. So when I updated the model with the n estimator for the random forest 200, and then again I updated the model, but I didn't update the baseline. So I just ran my test script. I found that it captured the difference in results quite well. So that means, as expected, the predictions have slightly changed, and which are expected, it has captured quite well. So that way it will come really handy if you want to automate the testing process, machine learning API testing process. Now I'll show you, instead of running this script manually, you can use some job scheduler or some CI/CD tool like Jenkins. You can automate the process. Like you can run this script automatically, periodically, automatically, in some interval, and then your test will be running, and you can track the results from Jenkins itself. As you can see, last time you ran 3 minutes 20 seconds ago. So you have to click on this test failure and go to the console output, and here you can see the test failures, the details of test failure, and how, and all these details, and like if the difference in results is above the tolerance value, definitely test will fail, and or if any error comes in the process testing, so it will come very handy for you. And so it's very simple to schedule it in Jenkins script. If you want to schedule a script in Jenkins, it's simple. You have to just create a new project, then if you have to go to the configure, and there here you have to specify all these details, like description of the project, then source code management. If you want to use, you have to select Git. Here we are not using any source code management. Then how frequently you want to run it. So in my case, every 5 minutes it's running, so that you can schedule it, and you can add time step to the console output every time it gives some output, test output, so it will add time steps. Then this is very important, then execute the Windows batch commands. So first it will first enable or activate this Python environment using conda.bat particular environment, and activate, and then it will basically go to the working directory ML API test, and it will run the test using the PyTest, and it will kick off the script test.py. And if you want to enable the email notification, you can do that, so that every time test will fail, you will receive some email notifications, which will also come very handy. So that you can automate the process using Jenkins. And right now everything I am doing locally, just running the API, the service locally, and also testing it locally, everything. But In reality, when your machine learning API will be running on some server or some cloud platform like AWS and GCP, that time also you can test the API manually using Postman, or automate in the automated way also you can test it in the similar way. So that's all for this video. If you like my video, please give your comments and also give like. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.